Okay, so ready to dive in. Today we're tackling a figure, well, he's hard to miss, right?
Right.
Donald Trump.
Right. A big personality.
From like real estate to reality TV star and then to the Oval Office.
It's quite the story arc.
It is. We got this excerpt kind of focusing on his life, his whole career, and our mission today. It's really to figure out how he managed to pull off those transitions.
Yeah, and what it says about America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what's his impact been?
Mhm.
So, starting at the very beginning, I mean, the guy was born into wealth.
Not just wealth. Think New York real estate dynasty. His family was already a big deal.
So, basically, he was kind of set up for, like, a life of deal-making, right?
You could say that. And he did follow in his father's footsteps, got that economics degree.
And then went straight into the Manhattan market, right? That was his playground.
Yeah. And that's where things get interesting. He had a talent, for attracting attention, making a splash, these big, high-profile projects like Trump Tower.
Which, by the way, later became the set for The Apprentice. I mean, talk about full circle.
Right. But, it wasn't all roses. He had some serious setbacks.
Bankruptcies even, right?
Multiple. But he always seemed to recover.
Yeah, he always bounced back, and he kept that image of success going. Even when things went wrong, it's like it almost became part of his brand.
A sign of resilience, yeah.
It makes me think of how he'd use the term fake news whenever he faced criticism.
Interesting parallel. The excerpt really highlights that ability to control the narrative.
Turn a negative into a positive.
Exactly. And we saw it in his business dealings. Then it became even more pronounced during The Apprentice.
Oh, The Apprentice. That show, it really launched him to another level.
A totally different audience.
You're fired. I mean, come on, that became like a national catchphrase. Everyone knew who he was.
It's amazing how he was able to leverage that reality TV persona into a political platform.
Because it seemed to come out of nowhere in 2015 when he announced his candidacy.
Right.
Did you get any hints of that in the excerpt, like that he might make that move?
There were glimmers, maybe, of his ambition, that desire to shake things up. But the jump from boardroom to, running for president, it was a curveball for a lot of people.
Yes. And his platform, that focus on economic nationalism, populism, it really resonated with a certain segment of America, people who felt like they weren't being heard.
And that Make America Great Again slogan, pure genius.
Oh, yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
Tapped into this, like, nostalgia, and then boom, he actually wins the 2016 election.
Nobody saw that coming. Well, very few. Shocked the political analysts.
Total game changer for American politics. And then his presidency. I mean, bold policy moves right off the bat. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, huge tax cuts, deregulation, shaking things up.
Massive changes. Sparked a ton of debate, obviously.
And then there's, the immigration policies.
Yeah.
Really controversial.
Some argued national security, others saw discrimination.
Very polarizing for sure.
And his approach to trade, too, sparked controversy. Those tariffs on goods from China, other countries, started trade wars, had people worried about the economic fallout.
Yeah, and all this, it wasn't just happening in a vacuum. I mean, these policies had real impacts here in America and globally.
Definitely. And we can't forget about the 2 impeachment proceedings.
Oh, right. I mean, whatever you think of the outcome, it just highlighted how divided the country was. Everyone had a strong opinion on Trump one way or another.
He really did have this knack for galvanizing his supporters. They connected with him, his style, his message. They saw him as a disruptor, someone not afraid to take on the establishment.
And even after he lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden, he contested the results.
Which further fueled those divisions.
Yeah, his departure from office was, well, let's just say it was chaotic.
To put it mildly. But here's the thing. Even out of the White House, he remains a force in American politics.
He's still out there, holding rallies, endorsing candidates, keeps hinting at another run.
It's remarkable.
So I got to ask, what's your take on all this? I mean, his whole journey, so unconventional, and now this continued influence. What's it all say about where America is right now, politically and socially?
I think his presence still being so relevant, it really highlights the anxieties, the divisions in this country. He tapped into something real, a deep discontent. And those underlying issues, they haven't gone away.
Wow. It really makes you think, doesn't it? About how Trump's story and all the strong emotions he brings up, how that's going to shape American politics going forward. It's definitely food for thought. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.